Jon Gruden's the bad guy because of last night, right? He, like the 6 other new coaches, all lost their inaugural game as a head coach in the NFL. We saw Matt Patricia, another Patriots assistant, looking overwhelmed at being a head coach. I'm beginning to think that Patriots assistants are a lot like Guinness beer. I don't know if you know this. A good friend of mine, Dave Revson, he once lived abroad in Ireland, and the Irish will tell you that Guinness beer, the further it gets from the brewery, the worse the beer is. That's what Patriots assistants tend to be. The further they get from Foxborough, the worse they get. But Jon Gruden's the bad guy because he traded away Khalil Mack, and then they had no pass rush, and they couldn't get to Jared Goff, and people were like, see, told ya. No one's arguing that they wouldn't be demonstratively better defensively with Khalil Mack. That's a stupid argument. You're like, well, obviously they miss Khalil. Of course they do. No one's arguing that Khalil Mack is awesome. Is he $90 million guaranteed awesome and 2 first-round draft picks awesome? Right? They're going to get worse defensively when you take one of the best players in the league off of their team. So if you're making that argument, congratulations. In the short term, you're going to win that argument 10 times in 10. The question becomes, in the long term, were the Raiders better off? And by Jon Gruden's estimation, a guy who has built a winner in Oakland before, a guy who's been a part of a winner in Tampa, and a guy who's evaluated the NFL for the decade he's been out of the league, he's betting on yes. But what you don't realize is that Jon Gruden's gamble, if you will, was because he had Derek Carr under contract, making franchise quarterback money. And the big takeaway from last night is, I don't know if Derek Carr has it. It's not that you could have traded Derek Carr and got 2 first-round draft picks back in return to take that contract off. It's not that you didn't think, hey, maybe you could, Jon Gruden, like any guy, thinks I can fix him. I can fix any quarterback. I had 4 quarterbacks in Tampa, and I tried to make them all kind of work. But I'm not surprised that the Raiders didn't have a pass rush when they traded away Khalil Mack for 2 first-round draft picks and cap flexibility in the long-term future. What I am surprised about is Derek Carr may not be who we thought he was. The guy of 2 years ago, the miracle finishes, the 4th down conversions, all the upside, all the hope. That may have been the exception, and the rule might be what we saw last night, which was panic at times under pressure, an inability to step up and make the big throw, and a couple of just bizarre interceptions. They were in that game at the half when they were on schedule, when they were on script. When he was left to his own devices and just had to make plays, he couldn't. Of course they stunk at pass rush. They lost one of the best players in the league. More surprising was the ineffectiveness and inefficiency at the quarterback position, one that they had chosen to invest in and have decided to build their entire team around.